interests. So we're doing something major. We're reducing the numbers of immigrants that will come to Canada for the next 3 years.
Well, he's changing his tone because the policies that he put in place, which demolished the Canadian immigration system, threw the borders wide open, upending decades of effective immigration policy in Canada, have caused a catastrophic crisis in the country. And now you could see that he was blaming that on educational institutions and bad corporate actors. And that's exactly typical of him and his 14-year-old mentality.
Jordan Peterson is popularly known to be one of the most outspoken commentators in Canada, frequently talks about different issues with his unapologetic criticism. He has become the voice of Canadians who are mostly frustrated with the political direction the country has taken, especially under the leadership of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Jordan Peterson does not shy away from calling out what he sees as mismanagement and misplaced priorities in Canadian governance. His recent criticism talks about the surprising shift in immigration policy. He is popular for advocating open borders and celebrating multiculturalism. Justin Trudeau announced a significant reduction in the number of immigrants over the next 3 years. The aim of this is to address issues like exploitation by corporations and educational institutions. However, this has been subject to criticism and controversy, especially with people like Jordan Peterson, who argue that it is not about solving real problems but about deflecting responsibility for years of poor management policies. This change occurs at an important time for Canada, as the country struggles with rising economic challenges and an increasingly polarized political landscape. Could this policy adjustment be a genuine attempt to stabilize the immigration system of Canada? Or could it be just a temporary bandage to mitigate the public frustration? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell. For several years, Canada has been a beacon of opportunity and a destination of choice for skilled professionals from every corner of the world. Its inclusivity and stability have made it a model for effective immigration systems worldwide. The immigration policies of the country have not only fostered economic growth, but also a multicultural society that celebrates diversity. Justin Trudeau has claimed that his policy shift is a necessary measure to address the systemic exploitation within the immigration framework of Canada. He specifically mentioned bad actors like fraudulent colleges, accusing them of manipulating the system for profit. According to the Prime Minister, these groups have created vulnerabilities that underestimate the immigration process in Canada, leading to inefficiency and public discontent. To assist his arguments, Justin Trudeau compared the current population growth of the country to the post-World War II baby boom. He mentioned that the rapid increase in numbers has placed a huge strain on the infrastructure of Canada, from healthcare to education systems which are struggling to keep pace. He mentioned that it is not just about accommodating immigrants, but also ensuring that the country's foundational system remains robust enough to support immigrants and existing residents. This shift portrays a manner of thinking quite different from the Justin Trudeau's of a few years back. His previous policies were characterized by a vision of inclusivity, where immigration was seen as a cornerstone of Canada's identity and a solution to labor shortages across various industries. Although he remains committed to inclusivity in principle, his recent behaviors signal a change towards stricter regulations and reduced immigrant intake, which could be a response to the constant criticism and visible strain on national resources. The criticism of the Prime Minister's immigration policies is not just about Jordan Peterson, but reflects a constant chorus of discomfort among conservative voices in Canada. Figures like Pierre Poilievre, the leader of the Conservative Party, spoke about the backlash with strong criticism, mentioning that Justin Trudeau's approach is an effect of deeper systematic failures. Poilievre has not sugarcoated his words, describing Canada as a sinking ship under the administration of the current Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. He mentions different economic indicators to buttress his point, like the declining per capita income, which is now lower than that of Mississippi, one of the poorest states in the United States of America. Also, projections from the OECD paint a terrible picture, predicting Canada to be the worst performing developed country economically over the next 30 years. Poilievre and other critics argue that the Canadian government's open border policies have failed to ensure the legal migration needed for successful integration. They call for a return to traditional immigration principles, which ensure that newcomers come through orderliness and maintain manageable inflows that communities can accommodate. Justin Trudeau's immigration policy represents a significant change with diverse consequences. On one hand, it aims to address systemic issues, but the ripple effects on Canada's reputation are complex. The proposed reduction in immigration will slow population growth significantly. For a country that has relied on immigration to balance an aging population and declining birth rate, this could cause labor shortages in industries like technology, healthcare, and construction. Businesses that depend on skilled immigrants might face hiring challenges, which can affect economic growth. The country's reputation for being a welcoming and inclusive nation might suffer. Potential newcomers might see it as less accessible and less committed to inclusivity. The public response to the immigration policy by Justin Trudeau consists of both supporters and opponents. Supporters view it as a necessary step to gain control over a strained system. They argue that unsupervised immigration growth will put pressure on housing, healthcare, and public services. For these individuals, the new policy is seen as a way to stabilize this system. On the other hand, opponents see it as a failure of leadership. They argue that the sudden change in policy shows a lack of planning, which portrays its incompetence in managing more complex issues. The media has also played a role in shaping the narrative with both critical analysis and sensationalized takes. Social media especially has amplified the issue with conspiracy theories and debates circulating widely. There have been accusations of political opportunism to calls for systemic reform, especially on platforms like Facebook and Twitter. As Canada stands at a critical point, facing the complexities of balancing its long-standing immigration legacy with the pressing need for reform, one must ask, can Canada navigate these turbulent times and emerge with a stronger, more effective immigration system? The answer lies not only in the government's ability to implement policy shifts, but also in how Canadians collectively approach the conversation about their future. Let us know your thoughts in the comments.